don't know if you guys have these questions about yourselves in your lives, like, why did that happen to me? How does someone like me end up out of the league? I could play multiple positions. I'm super athletic. I'm one of the fastest guys on the team. I'm smart. I show up early. I stay late. I thought what I was doing was the biggest thing in my life. Little do I know that God was taking me away from that so we could create the greatest thing in our life.
Can we cut?
No.
We got the first tears on Nice and Neat. We're gonna let this fly.
Joy Monet.
Tank. Melvin Gregg.
This is another episode of Nice and Neat.
I'm Duke.
I'm Omar. I'm Jalan.
Welcome back to another episode.
Yo, what's the deal, y'all? Hope all is well. I'm Duke.
I'm Chanel.
I'm Candace.
I'm Omar.
I'm Brittany.
I'm Jalan, and this is another episode of the #1 podcast in all of Los Angeles, Nice and Neat. As you can see, we got our 100th episode. We coming with big energy this episode because we listen to our audience. I feel like maybe somewhere in the comments we said, hey, who do you guys want to see on the 100th episode? We had some people here and there. You got some people say, oh, we want to see Beyonce. We was like, oh, she's a little busy. We want to see this. But then the mass majority said, we want to see the ladies on, right?
Bigger.
I feel like they said bigger.
They said
right?
bigger.
They said bigger.
Y'all said bigger.
I serve a God that
They
say
said
bigger.
Beyonce. They said bigger.
So we got the ladies on. We got our beautiful women on, our women that make us the men that we are, our women that motivate us every single day, our women that constantly give us the energy to be better, to be in front of this camera, to come out and talk to you guys every single week, every single Thursday. Let me see, what days from there? From Friday to Wednesday, these are the ones who are kicking us in our ass, making sure that we give you guys this game every Thursday. So we got the ladies here. Fellas, let's give it up for these ladies.
Come on.
You guys.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Soaking it up.
Soak it up.
Hey, look, the first time we did this, you guys are meeting Brittany for the first time.
I was about to say that. It's the first.
It looks like we meet somebody else.
Come on.
You guys are meeting somebody else for the first time as well. The first time we did this, I was single. I was fifth wheeling, right? And they were in totally different spaces in their relationships. Omar and Candace are now married and expecting. Duke and Chanel are engaged on the way to marriage. I have my own family as well, and like, this is kind of crazy. I'm actually thinking about this right now. We for our 100th episode, we have all of these moments.
Wow.
That's insane.
Wow.
It's so
Right?
beautiful.
We went from talking about, we were just watching some clips prior to we started. We went from talking about, Chanel, what do you think is a good man? Right? Candace, what are some of the qualities that you like in O? And granted, we're going to still talk about those things this episode to see if those things still reign true. But man, hey, ladies, thank you. Thank you so much for coming on, baby. Thank you.
Seriously.
This isn't easy.
No, we know you took a lot to get here.
This isn't easy.
Man.
It's my pleasure.
Thank you so much. Look, I'm gonna, cause we're gonna come over here. I'm gonna start over here on this side. Hey Duke, man, how you feeling that we starting our 100th episode off with your queen next to you, bro?
Listen, bro, it's not even about me. It ain't even about me.
He planned to say this.
All right, listen.
He couldn't wait.
Nah, look.
He couldn't wait.
All right, listen, I can tell you how I felt, but it ain't about me. I want to know how y'all feel, right? Before we get to the 100th episode, I want to know, because we can talk about how the journey's been for us, right? But how has the journey been since we started podcasting, just from y'all end? You know what I'm saying? From watching us, from even being sometimes the recipient of commentary, right? From like watching the comments, watching the feedback, or maybe listening to things that maybe you don't like or you do like. Like, how's that experience been for y'all?
I'll start it off. I feel very proud of you guys. I know this is probably one of those things, one of those moments. It's just like, don't really speak on how you really feel, right? This is the reality is we've seen you guys have an idea. And when you turn, I love creativity, obviously. I come from a creative background. So watching you guys in this space outside of what you do or have done your whole entire lives to come and say that you're gonna do something and then actually execute it. And we're sitting here at the 100th episode. I'm just like so proud, and we all feel the same way. Like we speak to each other very often, you know, the women, and we feel honored that you guys asked us to be here. So thank you.
We was nervous.
And yeah, we just feel proud.
nervous.
We feel proud of you guys, and you know, we just know that this is just the beginning.
Yeah.
Like the world, reading the comments, that was another thing that you asked. Reading the comments is it's one of those things where you just have to like take everything with a grain of salt, but like you guys are really being vulnerable on here. People are going to have their opinions, you know, positive or negative. Yeah. So I think you guys have done a great job, and the way that we feel, even being behind the scenes, not being on camera, watching you guys and have these conversations in real life to then bring it to the cameras, it's just been like, this is what we do anyways. This is what y'all talk about anyways. Yeah. You're just, now the camera's here all of a sudden, but y'all been on this.
Yeah.
Y'all been these men. Yeah. So, yeah, just proud.
Yeah. I stopped reading the comments. First thing.
First thought.
But aside from that, I think that exactly what Candace said, watching y'all turn an idea into what it is now has been just an incredible journey to watch. And it's very admirable. It's very respectable. And I'm just so excited because I see so much more for y'all. And I think that every week seeing y'all show up and have these conversations, and I think it's really cool that y'all are able to do this as friends. Like that concept of just getting together with your friends and just talking and sharing it with the world, and the messages that you guys give to the world is something that we need now more than ever. So keep doing y'all thing. I'm proud of y'all. And I'm gonna keep watching.
Yeah. Brittany, how did Jalon's, I guess when you first became aware of Nice and Neat, you was watching Jalon, you know, as someone who wasn't your man, right?
He was in my head.
Okay. Okay, he wasn't here.
Okay.
Okay.
I love this.
How has,
Come on now.
I guess, how has Jalon been able to just be the person that, did Jalon grow into the person that you thought he was going to be before you guys actually became something?
I wouldn't say he grew into that person because we had a pretty good cadence before we started dating. We were friends. Hello?
Yeah, there you go.
Okay. We were friends before we started dating, so we had a really good cadence. I didn't really watch Nice and Neat before we started dating because I was interested in him and I didn't want to take anything that he may have said for content or social media. Like, I didn't know that was truly who he was. So I didn't want to have any preconceived notions. I just wanted to get to know him for who he is. And he's, I mean, you guys know, Jalon's the most consistent man on the planet. So he was definitely this, I would say he's very similar, but he grew into the family man that he is now. I mean, we all grow, so he's just continuously grown. Yeah.
You didn't like, Jalon used to be shirtless, huh?
Yeah.
You didn't like that?
Oh, yeah.
I liked it, but it was like,
I liked it.
he was outside. He
So
was like outside.
There was nothing. You said you didn't watch anything?
I didn't watch it. And I felt bad because he'd always ask me, he'd be like, hey, like, you know, have you checked out the podcast yet? Have you seen it? And I would feel so bad by saying no. And I didn't want to just like put all my cards on the table and be like, no, like, I like you. Like, I don't want to know. I don't want to know you before I know you.
Yeah.
So,
Honest.
No,
That's smart.
you knew this.
You know what's funny is, like, we didn't follow each other when we first met. You know what I'm saying? And I think it was on purpose. It's just like, yo, I don't want nothing else to,
Yeah.
like, persuade me
Yeah.
or get in the way of me actually getting to know this person.
Yeah.
So it was such a delay. I don't think we started following each other till the second time around, right, when we started dealing with each other. But
How often would y'all go look at each other's profiles?
When he was acting funny.
I gotta see what's going on. Let's pull his interest.
Where you at?
When I felt like he was acting funny.
I think that's smart though, because
Really?
I feel like everything's so digital, it's right in front of your face. So I feel like you can go on anybody's page or their podcast and just make assumptions. And I feel like there's just a space of like, you just want to be real. Like you want to establish like a real foundation. So I actually went back. We watched some episodes together, but like I would go back and watch things after the fact.
Okay.
But,
Well, that's good. That's good then. So was there anything that you saw in the episodes that Jalon, that you guys watched together that may have turned you off from Jalon and that made you say, I didn't really align with that?
I wouldn't say not align with it. We're very different. Like I feel like our morals are the same. Like we have the same structure and foundation and background, but like the way he does things is completely opposite from how I do it. So I wouldn't say that I never disagree. It's just like I always ask him like, hey, what did you mean by this? Yeah.
That's a great
So y'all
question.
can-
You need some elaboration.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Honestly, I learned how to communicate through that. Like, you know, you so used to living in your world and how you speak and how you talk to the people you talk to. And when somebody's like, yo, what did you mean by that? And you'd be like, what did I mean?
I think before I slap you. But, hey, what do you mean before I slap you? What do you mean by that?
Like, what did I mean by that? And you got to actually like, okay, let me actually articulate that a little bit better. I learned how to speak much better even on our show because she would be like,
Conversations.
yo, like, what did you mean by that? Like, explain that, elaborate. Or actually, when you just say this part of that, it sounds like this. And it's like, okay. I don't sound polished when I say that. Like, that doesn't sound good. Like, you go back and look at some of our old episodes. It might be something in the episode that you guys were on where I'll be like, ugh, I could have said that better.
Of course, yeah,
That's a
evolving.
part of
That's
it.
good. And I've seen you grow. Like even seeing you guys together, it's just like you guys make each other better. You know, it's a great thing to see, and you know, knowing you.
This
from
isn't
that.
about us.
Sorry,
Look,
but it's just we're talking about communication, and I could
Candace
see
thinks
it.
she's slick.
Speaking of growing, we see
Yeah,
you growing,
you're
Candace.
Growing and
So,
glowing.
like,
You guys
so-
might hear me breathing on the mic a little bit. It's because it's hard to breathe.
Breathing
It's
for
real
two.
hard to breathe. We're 6 months today.
Congratulations.
Thank you. We're
That's
so
exciting.
So hold up a second before we get to it though. Before we get any further into this episode, I do want to pop a bottle.
Okay.
Some celebratory champagne for this 100th episode.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? I think it's only right.
It's only right.
Make sure Candace
It's
gets
nothing
the first
crazy.
one.
It's only yeah.
No
I
crazy.
got my little water on deck.
Water on deck.
My little spring water.
You know what I
First
mean?
drink.
Hey man, cheers to 100, man.
Woo!
Cheers to 100.
100.
Cheers to
Pour that thing
y'all.
up,
Yes.
So go ahead, Delon. You can
Y'all
ask your
did
question.
Man, Candace, this is actually for you.
What?
You over there, you growing, you're growing beautifully. You have an incredible glow about you. I think it's super dope as well. I just want to go ahead and give you some of your flowers. Like being able to, you mentioned we've been knowing each other for now 7 years.
That sounds forever.
We've been knowing each other for such a long time, and just to see the different stages and the different levels of evolution. I remember on our last episode when you were talking about, you were fascinated by the man that he is, and who he was in that state.
Yeah.
Now, who do you expect him to be as a father? And like, what are you looking to see him, like see in him and see him pass down to you guys as children?
It's not really expecting. It's more of like I'm just watching him grow into this family man that I've always really imagined. And it makes me fall in love with him more and more every day. I know they say some women in pregnancy, they either like are super annoyed with their husbands or, you've seen everything. My timeline is full of how everybody's reaction should be towards their significant others. I've found that first, it was the marriage, right? The wedding, and like how our day went from supposed to be like the most amazing day in the world. We had the craziest wedding day. His father ended up in jail. His father ended up in the hospital. Same. His father ended up in the hospital. It was a hurricane. We were on a yacht. I threw up all over like
The side of the boat.
the side of the boat. The day was crazy, but the way that we came together and like ended the evening just like we did it, you know, we got through the day. It was almost like a sign of some sort. Like, we're going to be able to get through the storms. We're going to be like, how are we going to do this? We went aside, we prayed, we did what we had to do. Our pastor was on the yacht with us and like made us feel really comfortable. So kind of just staying in that space, and then we knew we were pregnant probably
2 weeks before.
2 weeks prior. So, but the wedding was already planned. So getting to this space and being actually pregnant for the first time and watching him in this season has just been extremely, like, I'm just so thankful to have my best friend be with me through this, you know? Like, I like, internally, I realized that, like, I low-key picked him for this part, you know, because this isn't something that I take lightly. Like, pregnancy, having a family, like, that's number one for me in my life. Like, beyond the career, beyond being the number one showgirl in the world, beyond being this, like, multi-millionaire entrepreneur, best-selling author.
Yeah.
Because that's important to me, because I am one of those women. But nothing is more important than family for me.
Yeah, so what's your reaction, though, when you hear people say, yo, actually family shouldn't be that important or be number one, and you should always look out for yourself or put yourself first over family? What's your reaction to that?
That's coming from a hurt place. When you hear those kinds of things, I came from a loving family. So that's what I know, and that's what I feel like I'm put here for. I'm put here for my family. I'm put here for love. Without love, really, truly, I'm good. I don't really want to be here. Whether it's in love with myself, whatever's happening, loving my family, and loving my significant other. Now I'm creating my own family. We're creating a family of our own. It's like, this is the most important thing. And then also getting married as well. Like, I don't want to just like run over that as if it's not a important part of this equation. Like, getting married was like the craziest experience the day of, but I'm saying, like, our dynamic has grown. I think there was an episode where he was like, I don't think it's going to change that much. We've been living together for a long time.
Yeah.
We've been blah, blah, blah. I don't think it's going to blah, blah, blah. Babe, tell me what's up.
Not even, what have we been married, 4 months?
Yeah.
Instant change.
Instant change.
Instant change. The second we got married. More protective, more proud.
Everything.
More everything.
The conversation. And it's like his protection mode is different. And it's, I feel it and it's on me and I wear it everywhere, even when he's not around. I walk different.
Come on.
Because I'm a bold
that.
you know? And it's one of those things I've prayed about since I mean, you date as a kid. You date for this. And this, I feel like I'm living a freaking fairy tale or a dream or my dream. You know, so it feels like I'm walking in it. It feels like I'm living in it, and watching him get here while we're now expecting. I tell people all the time, I'm just like, is this the honeymoon phase or what? Because everything he does is like so hot to me. Like, I'm like, he checks on me. He makes sure I go to bed. I'm breathing like this in bed, like trying to just get air. And he's like, you good? Like, just like the smallest, tiniest things. Not on like an OD way, but just like a real protective way. I just feel protected by my man, and there's no place I'd rather be. So watching him do that, and do this.
Come on, let's give it up for Willis one time. Let's give it up for Willis one time, man.
Wow,
And he's very fucking sexy to me.
Did you guys know that when it rains, it's like clearing energy for something new, like a new foundation and everything?
Yeah, but at that time, when you're ready to get married and you're rocking on the boat like this, and you're dressed and your hair's going crazy and you're everything that you prepared, you ain't hearing none of that. You're like, this day is getting ruined by the second. It started off with his father not making it. Like that, I'm like, there's really no coming back from this. Granted, thank God he's alive. He got out of the hospital 2 days later. We didn't know that at the time.
Right.
You know?
And you cut the cake with him.
Yeah.
That was special.
Oh, yeah. We brought
he celebrated.
We actually brought the sonogram to his bedside the day after the wedding, because we're like, this is what we're going to tell everyone of our family, that we're pregnant. Yeah. He's not going to be here, so we're just going to make it special for him and, like, give him an extra boost to get up out of
Yeah.
the hospital.
Yeah.
So that was a really, really special moment for Mr. Bolden. I'm not allowed to call him Carney Bolden or like,
Mr.
hey,
Bolden.
like whatever.
Super
He's
traditional.
checked me from day one. He's like,
Yeah.
Mr. Bolden. I was like, yes, sir.
Old
Never
school.
again.
The old
Let
school.
me
I
ask
don't
you.
play.
Let me ask you a question, babe. How have you seen yourself grow in our relationship, right? And what are some of the, I guess, challenges that come with like trying to have a thriving relationship like ours?
Okay, one question at a time.
Okay.
How have I seen myself
Okay.
grow?
Okay. In what ways? Yeah. Have you
In
seen-
what ways? I've, believe it or not, I always knew that there was like more to get from me, like more growth for me, more things for me to learn. But I always questioned myself and wondered, what can this man really teach me? And you've taught me so much. Like, I've grown tremendously, and in a way where it's just like I've learned how to control. You've taught me how to control my emotions more.
That's
And I
huge.
never thought that's something a man could do.
Wow.
Believe it or not, I thought it was just up to me to do that. So I'm incredibly grateful for you to be willing to teach me and work through me. I wasn't like angry, y'all, but I just, I had things that I needed to work on.
Yeah.
And you always checked me on those things and made me aware of those things and allowed me to work on them and grow through them. And, I'm grateful for that.
Yeah, I think we got an episode called "How to Check Your Girl Respectfully." Right?
Yeah, we do.
So
We
I'm
do.
glad you
Yeah.
said that, 'cause Chanel was going to ask you. I think this is just like a good teaching moment, right? It's a good teaching moment for our audience. What are some of the things that Duke did to respectfully check you?
Just delivery. Delivery.
Because it's not what
It's
you
not
say,
what
it's how
you
you
say,
say
it's
it.
how
That's
you
what
say
gets
it.
me
That
every
is, like,
time.
don't say it.
Yeah.
Wait,
it's-
what gets you every time?
The delivery.
The delivery. It's not what you
Like
say, it's how
now,
you say it.
now it's just like I already know, so I'll just be like, call right back, babe. I'm sorry. Like I'm sorry. I'm frustrated. You know,
Exactly. And that's what it be.
it's like that look. Like, who are you talking to?
Yeah,
I'm
it's
sorry.
it's like you let your emotions affect the delivery, and it may not even be something that he's done, but it's just like I've learned to notice when it's happening, and either in some moments not do it, or some moments it happens and apologize for it, and be self-aware enough to be like, yo, my bad, like it's not a good day today. I need some time. I've also learned to take time because
Ooh, that's
I
good.
need time before we talk.
That's different.
I heard that in her, the way she just said that right.
Yeah.
I heard that. Oh, okay, hey,
Tell her to
hey,
talk.
hey, take your time, baby.
Yeah. So just learning how to really like regulate my emotions as it relates to different challenges in our relationship, as it relates to different challenges for me, someone who moved to this new city, becoming an entrepreneur, quitting my full-time job, like all of these emotions that I could have never even anticipated came up once I moved from New York. And we got through a lot of different challenging moments, and he really helped me through that. So
Man,
thank you.
that's great. I got that's great.
Yeah,
I love the way you said that.
thank you.
Yeah. Brittany, I wanna swing it to you. So sweet. Because a lot of people may not know about your relationship. You packed up and moved to a different state, just like Chanel did for Jelon. So I want to know, like, what really made you feel comfortable? What gave you the confidence to pack up and move your whole change your entire life for this man?
That's a good question.
That's
Love.
a good question.
Love.
Love will blind you.
Just
Hop on a plane, huh?
so background context, because nobody knows who I am. I'm from California, so I'm not from Los Angeles. I'm from the Bay Area, but I did live in LA before. And during the pandemic, like everyone else, I was just like, I'm going to go to Texas. I'm never coming back. I'm about to get a 6-bedroom house and land. And then came right back.
Smart gal.
Yeah. But I'd have to say, we were talking about this earlier. I feel like when you just know. And I never understood what that meant until I was in it. Like I've never been like a person who just dates multiple people. Like I've always been like a long-term relationship woman. And I've never just known that any of those people were the right one. Like there was just always something, or like your intuition as a woman, we know that. Like we just know when it's not right. I never felt that way about Jalan, ever. Like our relationship just kept growing and growing. And even when we would hit, you know, like communication barriers or like learning curves of each other, it was never like setbacks, if that makes sense. Where you're just taking a step back and you're like, you know what? I'm cool off of him. So, you know,
consistency, right?
Consistency. So
I think that's what they all kind of have
In
common.
yeah.
Is that made us probably all feel kind of comfortable.
Yeah.
And I was scared to date him because I lived in Texas at the time, and I was like, we really liked each other. We were talking from the time we started dating, we talked every single day.
Well, that's interesting though. If you felt like that about it, what was so scary about it?
I was scared to go
it.
into a long distance relationship and then not be able to see your partner. And I realized how consistent he was when he said, that's not something you'll ever have to worry about. I promise I will see you all the time. And I was like, okay, we'll see. You know, I'm going to take a step back and see.
We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see.
I hate that.
That means show up.
Yeah,
Right.
that means
That
I
means
want
I
to
believe when I
show
see it.
up.
That
see
man,
it when I
that
see
man was
it.
on that plane
Yo.
every other Saturday. So
Wow.
Yeah.
He sure was.
Yo,
Yeah.
I remember.
I'm like, bro, why you going to Austin so
You
much, bro?
claimed it from when we first met her.
He said
Yeah,
he was.
he
he did say
He
that.
told you
Wow.
that.
It was a concert. I'll never
Wow.
forget
It
it.
was what concert?
Hey, look.
What you
Wizkid.
mean?
One of the most
Wizkid.
lit concerts
It was
we've all ever
great.
been
Yeah.
to.
Oh, that was
Vibe.
such a good concert.
that
Look,
was
he
a
said, "Hey, we got this concert. We go to this concert. I never met Brittany. None of us met
I
Brittany.
remember. Oh man.
We don't know Brittany.
So crazy.
We've never met
We
in
get to this
person.
concert.
No.
I mean, he may have mentioned Brittany, but we get to this concert and he here with Brittany. I'm like, what's this? Who you with? Like what? So he like, we have everybody. It's a good time. It's a good time. We vibing. Everybody having a good time, right?
Yeah.
And you know, Jalan, like he was excited.
Yeah.
You know, he was like excited to bring you around.
To show you off.
You know what I mean? It was like,
Yeah.
yo, like
How could you not be?
Like, you know, I wanna
Hello.
I wanna integrate her. You know, that's what it felt like. And I was just like, oh wow, I never seen him like this.
Yeah.
I ain't never seen him like this. I seen him
That
be
was the
cool.
Yeah.
I seen him be smooth. But I ain't never seen him excited like that.
Also, I don't remember. I think it was Chanel who said it. Like, you pay attention to like your man's friends, right? So like, you guys were very protective over Jalan. Like, you pressed me.
I did.
What
I
happened?
feel like I did press you.
It was mostly dude.
I like, oh, so I said, like, so where you from? So where you from? She was like, I was like, okay.
I
you
was
got-
like, oh, they really care about him. Like, this isn't just this is just a girl he's bringing around. And that's something I noticed. Like, Jalan never just like posted girls or
Nah.
like, he was just never. I mean, I'm sure he had like his single days, but like, he wasn't sloppy. Like,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
never
yeah.
saw.
Many
Yeah.
moves.
Many
And you
minutes.
know
months
what?
ago.
Many moves.
And you know what? I think
Been picky.
Yeah.
I remember that day too, and I remember to me at least, right? It felt like you weren't that talkative, right? And I didn't know we didn't know too much information about you.
Yeah.
So he just kind of brought you in without kind of warming everybody up. So it's just like, damn, I wonder. So it's like
You were like, why
it was
you like
a- it was like a-
Jalan?
it was
I
like
was
a
like,
we'll see.
Yeah.
It was like a we'll
We'll
see.
see.
It was like a we'll see, right? And as time went on, he would talk about you more, and he's like, yo, I mean, it was quick. Hey, that's my girl now, right? And when any of us come to the table and say, hey, this my girl, it ain't no questions. It ain't like, hey, yo, why would you do that? It's like, hey, yo, that's your girl? I
right.
bet.
Cool.
And then as time goes on, he's going out there, you come down here, I'm like, okay, cool.
Something that stood out to me too at that concert, Jalan's very social and outgoing. Like, I'm very much an observer. Like, I like to sit back and just like make sure that like I want to engage before I actually engage. And I felt like he knew everyone in that concert. Like, every
Wow.
time he turned around, he was saying hi to somebody. People were dapping him up. Typically, if I was left alone on a first date with a man,
over.
I'd be like, this is the last time you'll ever see me again. You guys made me feel so welcome. Like, I almost felt like okay, like cool, I'm good. Like,
That's cool.
we were dancing, singing, just like it was a good time. And then I turn around and he'd be there and he'd be like, do you need anything? And then he's gone again and he'll come back. He was like in and out, but I wasn't. Those are the things where it just feels right, and you're like, this feels good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Best night.
There's no right answer,
Best night
but I want to get y'all
Thank you,
opinion, right?
WizKid.
Because that reminds me of something. So basically, you felt safe,
I felt safe.
okay? And I want to ask y'all, everybody really, but I just want to get your opinion. Hey, what do y'all prefer, or if you had to choose, would you choose safety or love?
Ooh, child. Well,
That was good.
You asked me this the other
Yeah,
day and I couldn't
yeah.
answer it.
Well, since nobody's grabbing it, you asking everybody, or you just asking the women?
Safety or love in what
Woman.
context though? Like,
However you. So I think what's a more a more valuable recipe for love? I mean, for your relationship,
So
is it love or is it safety?
this is interesting, man. I've been talking about love a lot with my brother, right? And we've been talking about what like love means. And love is safety. Like love is kindness, love is peace, love is patience, love is all of those things. I don't think you can have love without safety.
Right.
So
yeah.
like it's in it. I mean, I think if somebody doesn't like really think about the question, and you choose one or the other, you actually doing yourself a disservice when it comes to love. Like they're in love, she feels safe. You guys are in love, she feels safe. I know she feels safe. So all of those things come with what love is. Granted, I think you can make somebody feel safe without loving them, but I don't think you can love somebody without making them feel safe.
yeah.
So like that I think it's a good question, and I feel like you could trick some people who aren't really thinking into it, but I don't think you could love somebody without making them feel
And
safe.
is there a level of safety that as men you feel from your women?
Yeah, for sure.
In what sense?
Yeah.
Like how, that's
Tell
actually,
us more.
how do you feel safe?
I would say with my emotions. Like I feel safe. I feel safe being vulnerable and expressing how I feel. Whereas typically, like if we're just talking candidly,
Yeah.
like I may not be as open and vulnerable with those emotions, even though we're brothers.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
There's
yeah.
another level of comfortability, of safeness that I feel with my woman, with my wife.
Because I'm coming to her for certain things. I'm
I'm
not
coming to
talking
her for
about
everything.
Yeah.
I'm coming to her for everything because I feel safe.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would say yes, 1000%.
Can you really love somebody if you don't truly feel safe though? Like
you
that's
really?
such a guarded space. Like in order to truly love somebody, you have to have such a level of vulnerability.
Yeah.
Like I've never felt so, I'll just say like naked with Jalon. Like emotionally, like I feel like I could go to him for anything, and I don't know that I could actually say I love him if I didn't feel.
But I'm sure there's some people out there that are like in love with the person that they're really not supposed to be with because that person really does not protect them and their feelings. I think you probably have to be at a certain vibration to be able to accept that kind of love in a way that you kind of cover yourself and protect yourself. So you get what I'm saying? Like, I feel like there's some people out there that can love without feeling safe.
Without that.
Without
Let me
feeling
ask
safe.
you guys
Yes,
this.
exactly.
Do
Maybe
you
it started
guys
off like
feel
that.
like as like a woman, do you feel like your level of safety increased as like a fiance and now a wife? Because something I remember Jalon said to me when Omar and Candace got engaged was, I love to see how like light Candace is. Like she's just so happy and light. I feel like that's the most beautiful thing. And I feel like even as a girlfriend, like we started our family, but I wonder like, is it different as like a fiance and then a wife? Do you feel just covered?
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
watching them, we are all evolving as humans. I know that I've evolved from being a girlfriend, even from dating. The way I was, you could see in the other episodes, like even what I was wearing, like, what's up? Like, what were you doing? You're such a girlfriend. Like, I'm a wife now. Okay, it's a little different. No, but I mean, the evolving and just in general, I mean, yes, it comes from the relationship, but just watching him grow and also even the things that I do in the house are different. Like I used to hate when he used to say, "I'm hungry." It used to drive me crazy. I thought that was like a call for feed me, cook for me. You're gonna cook and you're
Hey,
gonna
woman.
clean. Yeah, hey, woman,
Yeah.
cook, clean, blah blah blah. Now it's so different. It's like he says I'm hungry. It's like even my mannerisms are different. I'm like I don't want because
My
now you're
husband
me.
to be hungry.
We are one
Yeah.
now. I don't want you to be hungry because then I don't know what that is, you guys. I really don't. It's not that I'm just like settling down and I'm a housewife now and this is what it is, and it has nothing to do with that. I think it's just understanding what it really means to be married under God and like honor that and honor the family dynamic and honor the fact that you are a piece of this man's body.
Come on.
Well, there's
rib.
going to be a piece of him will be with you forever. Because,
Already is.
with this.
He done knocked me up.
Yeah. You know, Candace, you said something, man. I really feel like submission is a gradual process, especially as I seen in my relationship. You know, you would, and I feel like my brothers can attest to this. Like early in a relationship, you'd be like, yo, why is there so much friction all the time? Like, why is it like, it was something simple that I asked for. And I'm sure you guys as women felt it as well. Like, yo, it was just something simple that I asked for. And like, why he meet me with this? I've learned submission is not a one-way street, right? So like the same exact way where you hear I'm hungry and it's like sends you into a frenzy, he might hear something and it might have sent him into a frenzy at one point in time. And as time goes on, you guys kind of chip away at each other's vulnerability, at each other's trust, to where you're like, yo, I'm hungry doesn't mean that.
Yeah.
I'm hungry means I need love.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
or I trust you to help me with this.
I trust you, right? And that right there, so my biggest thing was, I was like, I don't need to share everything, because if I start sharing stuff, then that means that I'm gonna give it to you, and one day I might need to take that back because I might not know how to do it no more. And I trust you so much that you taking care of it, and like I might not have access to that part of me anymore.
That's deep.
Yeah, that is really deep.
That's real though, because I could see how you can compartmentalize
Right?
that.
Because I feel like I felt that before, and I remember we would just have so many conversations, and I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna be completely open with Brittany. I'm just gonna be completely open. I'm gonna dive head first.
You made that choice.
I made a decision. Like, I'm gonna commit. I'm gonna dive head first. I'm gonna be fully locked in.
Yeah.
And I feel like there's a switch that happens in everybody's relationship to where it's like, okay, I like you and I enjoy you and we enjoy each other, but like these are the things that I'm holding on to still. And then there's like okay, this is my choice to be committed now. And that's another process that happens within the relationship.
Yeah.
Chanel, I've seen that in you. Crazy. Like, that wasn't day one. That wasn't day one you.
No, it wasn't.
Right? You know, you Brooklyn, all the, you know, everything, right?
Throw it up, cakes.
Like,
No.
when we talk about love and love being patient and love being kind, how much of that did Duke show you to where you say, you know what? Let my love be patient. Let my love be kind. Let my love be long-suffering. Like, what was that in him? Because I feel like he had to show you that. You was like, I'm not giving you no cards till you give me the cards. Like, where was that point for you guys in y'all's relationship?
I think, believe it or not, it was a bit of a dance for us. It was like a little bit of give, a little bit of take. And then once I started seeing him become more vulnerable, I was able to, you know, really take my guard down, trust him. And then the experiences that we actually had to go through, just, you know, like the challenges of being in a new city, the challenges of running my business, and the challenges of living with a man for the first time. Like seeing how we got through those situations, how we worked through them. I was like, it was kind of like okay, like just a deep breath kind of feeling. And with just chipping away at that little by little, it just got me to the point where I felt like I could take the back seat. Like he will lead me into the right spaces, and he will allow me to be the woman that I want to grow into, and even be better if I just allow him to like take the lead.
Sometimes that's
So
tough.
yeah, it's really tough.
Sometimes that's tough for women. I mean, some women are like meant for that life. I've got friends that are like, I'm motherfucking tired. Take these burdens off of me, and here I'm ready to hand it to a man. Then I have other friends that are the exact opposite. Like, there's nobody gonna come mess up with my peace. I've worked way too hard to be here.
Yes, and that's kind of where I was at. Like,
Exactly.
I just worked way too hard to anybody to ruffle my feathers.
Yeah.
Right.
And so,
But I
need
think
that balance.
with that mentality though, it doesn't work because you've already made the commitment to be here.
Yeah.
Right. So
Or,
you
like,
can't
trying
try to be
Yeah.
you can't try to have your foot in two different places. All right.
Sounds
Right.
good. Sounds good.
Like, no, I'm saying because like, hey, yo, if you've flown across the country, you've just made a decision to move across the country, right? Yeah, for work, right? But you could have did work anywhere. You did work here,
She's there for you.
all right? So to have that mentality where it's just like, yo, I'm not gonna give myself to no man. It's like, yo, then what is this for, all right? And I think for me, what I've learned is through our experience, I've learned that you can't wait for a woman to be vulnerable in order for you to be vulnerable. So you can't, like, you almost can't wait for a woman to create a safe space for you.
Yeah.
You got to show her that it's safe for us. All right. You got to show her that, hey, yo, listen, I already know what you're thinking. You know, I know you're afraid right now. I know that you are reserved right now, right? Because it's like, yo, I don't want to say I love you until he said I love you, right? It's like that. It's like that narrative. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't want to show my cards until I know that he's gonna show his cards, right? So like, as a man, I think you just gotta understand that. So for me, it was just like, all right, cool. I firmly believe that I can control just the direction of this relationship, you know, and I can control how far we go and how fast we go and all those things. And I know that, all right, look, if I really care about this woman, and I got this woman out here right now, all right, I don't have time to be trying to hide my cards. Look, here's my cards. This is what I want. This is what I want for us. This is what I want for you. This is what I want for me. All right. Now I'm naked. Right. Now she's like, okay, cool. I can breathe a little bit because I had all this pent. I was hiding. So now we good. You put your cards. I put my cards, and now we can roll. So I think that I get what y'all talking about. As a man, though, I think we should never wait on a woman to create a safe space for us.
And that's a space where you guys lead.
Always.
You know?
yeah, and I want to reiterate that it took us time to get there, right? So me moving out here, getting my own place, not staying at my place.
That's right.
Yeah.
For 6 months.
Remember, we was like, dude,
Yeah.
No,
yeah.
seriously.
So
Dude.
and that's also like I was the type of guy that I would allow her to figure that part of herself out.
Yo.
And I'm glad you did.
I ain't gonna just be like, nah, that's stupid. Move with me. Nah, you need that.
ahead. Have
Take
that.
that.
Yo.
Yeah.
Take that. Take whatever you need. That's not what I'm worried about.
Yeah.
Right. And then we got there with time.
Yo.
That's right. It took time, but y'all did it. And it's
Doing
been
it.
inseparable since, and
And
it's
then-
been so nice to watch.
And I think what you said, yo, I could take a back seat, right? But it's not really a back seat. You know, and I think a lot of women don't want to have to feel like they have to take a back seat to a man just for the simple fact that they don't trust him. I think that, right? But I feel like when you trust a man, you're not necessarily taking a back seat. You just allow him to step in front of anything that's going to hurt you.
Yeah.
I wouldn't even say that too, but it's more like a driver's seat, passenger seat.
Yeah.
Like, I
Right.
still need you
Yeah,
on
yeah.
deck, alert,
Yes.
looking at you. You're my other set of
Yeah,
eyes.
yeah.
Yeah.
You know what
Yeah,
I
for
mean?
sure.
So I just happen to be driving the car.
Right. You can take over.
Yeah.
That's good. That's good.
I do like Duke's analogy a little bit more, and I say that because I will die for you. That is my job.
For real?
You know,
real.
I'm just
For real.
kidding.
Hey, take a step. I kill for you.
yeah.
I kill for
Like-
you.
What I tell you the other night. What I tell you the other night.
I'll die for you.
Like
I
that,
literally-
like
how
that
much
is
is
my
that?
job. That's not your
That's
responsibility
so
to do.
deep,
Yeah, I
though.
was like,
Like so.
Wow.
So when we talk about like the leadership aspect, like just think about if we was out and we were hunting and it was like, hey, yo, stay behind me. Let me make sure this is good. Okay, cool. Let's step here. Let's take these steps here. And I go get a kill. I go take care of that. Or if I get killed, you're not getting killed too though. That's me. I'm stepping in front of everything.
Even if you're scared. Even if you're in front.
Like I think, man, it's funny. We was laughing the other day, and it was just like, remember when you was a kid and you had the space to be scared? Like I was telling, I was like, we're not scared anymore. It's just you don't have the space to.
yeah.
Like
You'll be scared.
yeah. Like when we hear the bump in the night, it's like, oh, I'm supposed to get up. Let me get up.
Get up. I don't want to. I don't want to. Man, you coming with me?
my passenger, I need a
scared
set of
to
eyes.
Hey, come on, man. Come on. Let me go on this.
But you be like, yo, like, it's no way I'm about to let him look at me and be like,
Are you gonna
Daddy's
get that?
scared.
Yeah.
There's no
Why is
time.
dad calling somebody else? I wish my dad would have called somebody. Bro, we thought somebody was outside breaking in. We'd be like, Dad, somebody's outside. My dad will get up in his boxers
Right.
and go walk outside.
Scared.
So like, and who would I had to think that like, oh, but he wasn't scared. But that's how I felt. And I feel like we create a feeling for our partners, for our families. Yo, they're our leader. They understand. They the one who provide us like to where it's like, hey, even though times are hard right now, we're going to get through it because he's leading us out of this.
Yeah.
I
You
feel
know?
like that's how submission organically happens, though. Like when you actually feel as a woman, like I can let him lead. It's not even like you're being submissive, like I'm not going to do anything. Like he has the final say for everything. Like we very much converse about every decision that's made, but like I trust that even if I can't see it immediately, that Jalan's got us.
Yeah.
So like sometimes you just need to like let him.
Yeah.
Just let him.
Yo,
Like
do you-
I don't need to have a bunch of like anxieties and eyes anymore.
Do you feel that people conflate submission and femininity?
And what? Feminine.
Yeah, how you feel about femininity, babe?
Uh-oh. They can talk about this.
I'm gonna get dragged.
Go ahead.
It's like
I'll drag you
unpopular
back.
opinion.
I'd be in the comments. I feel like I'm very traditional. Like I grew up in a very traditional household. Like my father was just like, as like a little girl, he was just everything. Like he was like a protector, a provider. Like the way that he'd look at my mom, I used to be like, I want my husband to look at me that way one day. And I think the biggest compliment I've ever given Jalan is I feel like he's a better version of he's like a refined version of my dad. Like the places, like my dad's old school. So like when you say your dad's old school, like I get it. My dad was very old school. Kind of like, you know, my say, this is just how the household is.
Right.
And my mom is like, I don't want to say she was a stay-at-home mom, very intelligent, but like I want to take care of my kids. I want to make sure that like I'm making breakfast. Like she wasn't a mom who was sleeping in for school. Like she was making breakfast in the morning, packing our lunches, dropping us off at school, just super involved. And my dad was very much like the provider in that. So for me, I grew up seeing that. That's like my comfortable space. I am an extremely driven woman though. And I feel like getting to a place of submission that's comfortable for both of us took some time. Like even when we first started dating, we went to New York for his birthday and we went to like a club or something and I'm like looking around and he's like, babe, relax. Like I'm here. And I'm like, I'm used to being by myself. Like I need to watch my back. I need to watch yours. That's when I realized like you don't have to do that. So in terms of being feminine, I believe like if Jalan's hungry, like even like as a girlfriend, like I'm gonna make you food.
Your family,
Like,
though. Your family, so
We're family, but also like if you're like he's only as good as I am, and I'm only as good as he is.
Yeah.
So why like that doesn't make sense to me. Like when girls be like, let him make his own food, sis. Like for what? Like he's
just
not
turns
like
into
for
teamwork.
what?
That's
when
crazy.
you make the decision,
For what?
For what?
I get it because I literally used to feel that way. I just feel like there's a decision that's made sometimes and it's like when we decide to be a team, like once we really decide that we are in this together, like those kinds of conversations kind of just start to
But
go
truth
away.
be told, like I ask him to do everything, and I know he doesn't want to sometimes, and he just does it like lovingly and willingly. So we're very like service oriented people. And I feel like that's very much both of our love languages. And it's almost like every day we wake up trying to like
outdo each other.
Yeah.
Like, how can I show
That's
it for you the
beautiful.
most today?
Yeah.
So
You guys remember that episode we had when we were talking about like love languages and like I don't know, you guys don't watch. Like y'all don't watch it.
Y'all don't watch
Y'all
us.
don't watch
Y'all don't
Nah,
watch
nah,
us.
nah.
Okay.
For sure.
Y'all don't
Hey.
be watching us.
Hey.
Y'all don't be watching
Hey.
For
us.
what? They got it at home.
Hey, like
Man, we get enough of this
They
every
get it at home.
day.
7 days a
thing.
week.
That's the thing y'all don't get. Like we see y'all
Yeah.
every day.
That's what I'm saying. We still at
These
home.
conversations
It's all good. We get it.
in
We
the
get
living
it.
room.
I get it. I don't want
need
to
to watch it on TV.
You know what? I honestly don't want to come home and see her watching us either. I don't want to sit there and be like, "Ooh, did I say that?"
Yeah, nah,
Yeah.
for real.
And her,
Nah.
Yeah, and it's also your place of work. Like,
Yeah, it's like
it's okay.
a fine line.
But
Yeah.
like, I'll be watching them clips on Instagrams.
On the
Yeah, it
Instagram.
on the Instagrams, and I be commenting, and I like it really makes me go and like want to go watch the videos on the
Is that good?
Don't you don't pull the trigger.
Yeah.
I've just watched it before, but it's like we literally have these conversations all the time, so it's like hearing a conversation 6-7 times in a row.
So I say that because we had an episode where we're talking about love languages, and me and Brittany, we were talking about love languages, and was like, what's your love languages? And I think we got cute with it, and we started kind of like saying the things that were around it. And ultimately, we came to understand that our love language is just acts of service, right? And we kind of said, we actually feel like everybody who is in love, first love language actually is acts of service. And we say that from a space of everybody wants their partner to be able to be like, you see me, right? And I wanted to ask you guys, the ladies, how often do you feel like your partner sees you? Like to where you just like, I don't even have to tell him. Matter of fact, Candace, you got videos that went viral all seeing you and making food for you and making you feel
Those
good.
plates
He
look
was
bomb.
doing it for the baby, so clearly it wasn't
Apparently,
for me.
right?
A win is a win, right?
Okay.
It's a win-win.
right?
Clearly he's being honest on the Instagrams.
No, I was really thinking about that. Like, what spaces do you like look at your partner and you be like, yo, Duke, you see me. Yo, oh, you see me. And it's like, matter of fact, that actually, I feel like that has to be your relationship's love language because they're going to do things for you that somebody else can't do.
It's
like, no matter
simple.
what.
Really, truly, like it's our daily conversation. It's like we get home, and if you hear us, like you would think that we are like, it's so crazy how we live. We have a conversation every single day. You had another episode that you were talking about sitting down and planning for the year or planning for the month, or we have those conversations. He said every month. We have those conversations every night. We sit down, not plan or whatever, but like it's like, how are you? How was your day? That we do that every day. Maybe if we see each other in the morning, it's like, how's your morning going? I mean, the consistency of that. I'm telling you, like 7 years, back to back to back of doing that same thing. And not only just asking because we have to ask because I want to know how your day is, and like we're like these like robotic ass people. No, it's genuinely like we listen to each other. Really, did that really happen? Even if we gotta go, we gotta move. You good? Okay, I love you. Drive safe, and you know what I mean. Like there's some things that we just don't take each other for granted, and I think that's very important because tomorrow's never promised, and like things happen to people all the time. So like taking life as like for what it is, like. We have this, we have right now, and like really living in that. I feel like when I'm seen is him genuinely asking me how I'm doing.
Yeah.
And then sometimes I joke like, babe, I just got my lashes done. You didn't notice? Like, what's up? Like he's like, oh, they look, then he'll go in. It looks so nice. What lane number did you get this time? Or the nails and things. Those are like the exterior kinds of vibes when I'm like, you need to see me. Do you see how cute I look today? That's great because sometimes I do joke with him. Sometimes he does not notice my lashes. He does notice the hair.
Know that.
That means he sees me. But I feel like I feel really seen, to answer your question, when he simply asks me, how my day's going and genuinely holds a conversation with me about it, even though I'm telling him about whoop-de-whoop-de-doop-de-doop that don't matter for nothing. T.
Yeah, I think that something that I really love that Duke does, and this is usually like at the start of the week, but like Candace said, it is an everyday conversation thing, like how's your day going, what do you have planned for the day, but he always says, is there anything that I can do to make your day feel easier?
That's such a great.
I love that.
That's yeah.
And it really makes me think because in my head, I'm like thinking about my calendar. And I'm like, okay, I gotta do this, that. And then I'm like, wait, actually, you can help me with this, So I really love that he does that.
That's huge.
Taking a note out that book. I like
that. Please, babe.
I got you.
I really
got
like
you.
that
I
one.
got you. I like that.
Thanks, Duke.
Yeah, so he does that. And then, vice versa. Like naturally in that question, it's just like, what can I do for you?
Yeah.
But with Duke, he's a lot more routine that I really do know like the times that he's going to eat or something like that. So I'll like, okay, do you want me to make you a coffee? Do you want me to make you some oatmeal. Or what my thing that I like to do is because he likes meal prep. So Saturdays we agree that I get groceries. Sundays is the day to cook. So I like to cook the meal prep, cook very simple chicken breast, broccoli.
Very simple.
Let them
Very
know
simple.
that body diet. People want to know, darling.
Chicken breast, broccoli. Some weeks he might feel a little spicy and be like, let me get some steak. So it's real simple. So making sure that he has food to eat in the fridge.
That's good.
And his coffee and his apple cider
Yeah.
vinegar every morning, and then we're good.
Man, you don't really know how much you appreciate something until it's happening.
Yep.
Because I'm the guy who thought I didn't need that. I didn't need my woman to be catering to me as far as food goes, right? Because I'm not a foodie, right? I'm not a foodie, so
Thank you. Speak to us, man.
I'm not a foodie, you know what I mean? And it's like I can eat the same.
That's
No, really,
wild.
no, I can eat the same thing every day,
Every
just to maintain
Every
like
day.
my health. I can eat the same thing. So for her, it's almost like she's a foodie.
Well,
Right, not a foodie. Not a
These
foodie
four
in
in the
terms
middle
of,
are.
not
The
not
bookends are not.
not a foodie in terms of I need something like extravagant, right?
Yeah.
But foodie in the sense that
need
I got
variety.
three good days of meal prep, then I need variety. You understand? So I never realized how it was just little things where I could tell her, "Nah, I'm good," and she'll be like, "I got you anyway."
I'm like, you're not gonna eat,
And
so you're not gonna
she'll bring
eat?
something anyway, right?
Yeah.
Or she'll call me and she'll be out and she'll say, "Yo, do you want some of this?" And I'll be like, "Nah, I'm good," because I'm just a low maintenance type of
Yeah.
person. I'm like, "Nah." She'll like, "Bring me
Whatever. I'm
something."
gonna bring some.
Yes.
You still slam it.
And I still slam it.
Slam.
And I
Had
still
to.
slam it, right? And it's just like,
Yeah.
yo, like them little things, it's just like, oh, she sees me.
Yeah.
So does that mean
She sees me.
is it acts of service for you guys too?
I guess.
Would you
so,
say?
yeah.
Yeah, no,
I think
for sure.
I think on the deepest end,
Yeah.
Yeah.
it is.
Yeah,
Yeah, for sure,
ultimately,
service.
yes.
Yeah.
Especially because really it's just like you want your days to feel easy, and you want to just keep the peace, right?
Yeah.
So it's just like if I can make his day easier and vice versa, then we should be smooth. Like it should be
Yeah.
a good day. And I think at the very bare minimum is like those things, those small acts.
I think one thing that's extremely important that I've experienced within our relationship, babe, is being able to reframe questions, right? And being able to create perspective and being able to look at things more so in a positive light rather than a negative light, and then come from that place. So I want to ask you, what has friction done for our relationship?
Wow, great question.
I feel like every single time I feel like we have like seasons where it's like we're stretching ourselves or stretching each other, and almost like a rubber band, like it gets to the point where you feel like it could potentially snap and it doesn't. And I feel like we have those moments, and every single time after we sit and we talk through things, I'm very much like Chanel, like I need to process, like I need to step away, I need to think about things, I need to understand how I feel before I can approach something. But I feel like once we get through the conversation, and I feel like you really see and understand where I'm coming from, that allows me to open myself up to seeing your side. But I feel like it always makes us 10 times stronger. Like we even say that after. We almost start laughing instantly.
Hey.
Like it's like we just go back to joking and like being friends.
Hey, y'all be in those arguments, you be like, oh, this is it. Oh, man.
This is the one.
And Jalon's so
I even see that like y'all.
I'll be like,
Not saying a word.
Jalon's so chill too. He's so chill that it makes me like take it down a notch. Like I was a little crazy. Like I'm from the Bay Area. Like I was wild.
You ready to get hyphy on
I was
Yeah.
like ready, just like let's do this.
Yeah.
And he taught me like we're on the same team. Right. Like we're gonna get through this, and then you're gonna be apologizing for how you're acting.
Yeah.
So just don't do it.
Yeah, so it does, like you don't have to get there, but I feel like we always are 10 times stronger after, like always, and I love that. I'm grateful for our arguments.
Me too. That's what I'm saying. Friction do for us. You know.
He silently checks me.
What?
When I lived in Texas, I was like mad about something stupid probably, and I was just like, you know what? I don't think this is gonna work. And he was like, all right. And I was like, wait, what?
Call your bluff.
No, called my bluff. Like, went, took a shower. Like, the rain's like the shower head is falling on me. I'm like, you're tripping. You need to go fix that. So I'm grateful for it.
And sometimes you gotta be calm. Sometimes, you know, and just because our job is to diffuse the situation,
Every time.
right? Because this could go left.
You leave it
Hey,
Escalate
matter of
really
fact,
quickly.
yo, let me tell you
Yeah.
something. If I meet it with the same energy that you got right now,
That's why.
this is gonna go down right now.
This house
Yeah.
coming down.
This house going
Yeah,
down,
for sure.
right? So
Without a doubt.
you gotta constantly be like, you know what, bro? She has no idea right now because the fact that she feels so comfortable being that is because I'm just allowing her to be that right now.
Yeah.
Right? Because if I go there, then we just gonna be arguing and we just gonna be fighting, and then it doesn't do anything for anybody, right? So if you are just having one of those modes where you're just like angry about something, or you're just communicating with me just a little bit more aggressively than I like, it's just like, all right, well, I got two things I want to do right now. I could either play the game, or I could either bring her down to reality. And sometimes that just depends how I feel that day.
Man.
Oh no, the
sometimes-
Gemini.
Sometimes, I mean, there's been times where I was like, you know what, like, let's do it.
Let's go there.
Oh my God.
I got time today, cuz.
All right, let's do it.
Remember this one line. This is one time. We get into an argument. We're in a heated argument, and I start crying for whatever. I'm emotional about it. And he was like, yeah, you gonna cry first.
You're like, why are you
Never
being so
forget,
mean?
because
What's crazy is we've heard Duke say that on the show. He's actually said, you know what? You want to go there? You gonna cry first.
You gonna cry
Yeah.
before I do.
You gonna cry before I do.
because
Where
here's-
does that come from though? Like,
it comes from this, right? Listen, this is where it comes from. It comes from like, yo, like I understand who we are right now. I understand our anatomy, right? And I understand that you are trying to like exercise just everything you got right now. But I'm willing to go there. And if you want to go there and not meet you with this same energy, trust me, you are going to cry before I do. And that was just the whole rhetoric. Now, obviously, that's not an all the time thing.
Yeah.
Like, my job is to diffuse the situation. So most of the time, I'd be like, yo, listen, hey, yo, I'm not going to have a conversation with you. I will literally shut her up based on like how I'm speaking. I'll say, yo, like, hey, yo, I'm trying to speak to you, but you don't want to speak. So that tells me you don't want to solve this problem. So if you want to, no, I tell her that. So
Too
listen.
much logic.
So if you,
That is so
Just let
dumb.
me be.
so listen,
I do
hey,
not
yo,
agree.
I ask her like, hey, so do you want to solve this problem? She'd be like,
Yes.
she don't want to say yes because she gonna know what she gonna
Yeah.
know. So I'd be like, yo, I want to solve this problem. All right. So if you want to solve this problem, you got to talk to me in just a more calm manner so we can solve this problem. If not, you got to talk to yourself.
We say, use your words.
Right.
Use your words right
I
now.
think
When,
what
when,
I've-
when somebody's just
Oh,
stuck.
that's
Stop.
a good.
Use your
Use
words.
your words.
Use
Tell me
your
how you're
words.
feeling
That's
right
like
now.
a good like cue.
Because it's like, okay, I can use something. There's a tool.
Use your words.
Instead of
I think
just-
what I've started doing is like telling him when I just need to vent. Like after the baby
good.
came, like there's just so many changes I feel like in our relationship, and just like even relearning each other as parents, and like still holding space for each other as partners. Like there's so much grace that we have to have for each other all the time. I get a lot of anxiety when the baby's like crying, especially in the car, because I can't just like stop on the 101 and like tend to him. I'll call him and he'll hear him in the background and he's like, hey, like, how are you guys doing? It's one of those days, huh? And I'm just like, I just need to vent. Like,
That helps.
and it helps because then
Yeah.
he knows like this isn't targeted to you. I'm just
This is
in
what's
this
happening.
space. This is how I feel.
Yeah.
And then
I never told you thank you for that.
you're welcome.
No, seriously, thank you for that because I know they're gonna understand. We have women, you guys probably don't know, but we have very sensitive ears when it comes to our partners. So like, not knowing if you're yelling at us or you just trying to get something off, is important to know.
That was us today.
Yeah.
Like, so it's like, cause it's times where it's like, she'll be venting, but to me, she's telling me about myself, and I gotta defend me.
Yeah.
And his ears are
So
closed.
you gotta
yeah.
know.
So I'm like, hey, like, I didn't do that. What I did was such. And
Yeah,
now
but-
we got an argument about her just
Yeah.
trying to vent, because
Yeah.
I didn't know. So now she's just like, hey, I need to get this off.
Yeah.
And she be talking crazy, but I'm like, I feel it.
Yeah.
Hey, 'cause I get it. I can listen from that place now.
Yeah.
And it's not directed
It's
to
not
me.
directed to me.
Yeah.
And sometimes, truth be told, honestly, even when she said I just need to vent, sometimes it is directed to me. But like she just needs to vent. There's no
Yeah.
solving right now.
Right.
Yeah,
Oh.
there's
Right.
no solving.
like
Gotta
that.
get to the bottom of it.
Because Jalon's a solver too, so like I don't know if it drives you crazy when Duke does this and he just says, "Do you want a solution?" And it's like in the back of your mind, you're like, "Yeah, I want a solution, but not right now." Like I
Yeah.
need to like feel what I feel and tell you about
Yeah.
it.
I don't like living in problems at all.
Man.
She be like this.
Sometimes it's not
Problem.
so easy.
It's
I'm
crazy
like,
though.
oh, solution.
Every problem that occurs or everything that happens within the relationship doesn't create an opportunity for healing in that exact moment.
Yes.
Right.
Sometimes, like Chanel said earlier, it takes time. Or like Brittany said, I need time to figure out my emotions before I come
Yeah.
back and we could heal
Yeah,
together.
my thing is I don't want to have to decipher how I want to approach it. So I'm gonna ask, hey, listen, like, tell me what you want right now. Do you just want to get your shit off, or do you want to solve a problem? If you want to get your shit off, I understand that. Then I'm not gonna try to solve the problem,
Yep.
right? I'm just gonna listen, right? And if you just want to get your shit off, then I'm just gonna just be a soundboard, right? I'm not gonna have no solution. So then you say, yo, what do you think? Well, I really don't want to offer my opinion right now because you may get mad because that's not what you're here for. Now if she says, yo, I want to solve a problem or I want to come to a solution, then all right, cool. Put my thinking hat on and we'll figure it out together.
Put my thinking
right?
hat on. Put your big girl pants on.
And let's figure it out.
Let's get to work.
The other thing is,
Big girl
like you
fan.
said, man, you guys don't understand really how careful we are sometimes with our words, right? Because when we're trying to tell you guys things, we're like, all right, what's the best way I can get this point across, right? So sometimes when it's reversed and you guys are just careless with your words or careless with the tone, it's like, yo, like, how dare her? It's like, yo, I'm walking around trying to preserve her energy, trying to preserve her, like, everything, and I'm getting that? I'm mad now. Now I'm mad. So now you get that, yo, I'm about to defend myself. I'm gonna say, yo, like, hey, yo, I didn't deserve that. And I think that's how you get that friction. But I think if we understand each other, then we're able, then at least for me, I'm able to know how to approach her. And sometimes that involves just slowing down and not just being so reactive to everything, right? And it sounds, before you advance in your relationship, you don't know how to ask that question. You just feel like you got to think on your feet and have a answer right now. But in the midst of that, it's like, yo, babe, what do you want to do right now? You know what I'm saying? And if it's like, yo, I don't know. Okay, cool. I'm just gonna listen to you vent. If she says something, then we can work together. So that's how I approach friction. I mean,
Yeah. Omar, Candace, you guys, I've seen, man, just, I'm going to say a year, but it could be less. I've seen like just this exponential growth in you guys, this leap and bound. And I could be assuming, but I just feel like you guys are more anchored in God than you guys have ever been. Like, and I love watching you guys' relationship flourish in that space. I love the fact that you make it public that God is the center of our relationship. Like that's super, super, it's dope to me, right? As you guys are bringing a child into this world, how are you going to make sure that they have the love of God in their heart and they understand, like, this is my source. When I don't have the answer, this is where I could go. I always got to go to my parents.
Well, I think the easy answer is that we create the routine for our daughter. We have a routine in ourselves. We know specifically on Sundays, we're giving a certain amount of time to God. Whether we stream church, whether we go physically to the church, Sundays is our day where we have to pour into God. You know what I mean? And let Him pour into us. Not that he's not pointing to us the other 6 days of the week, but like,
And we pray every meal at night, or or like specific meals when we're sitting down together. Like,
or if I just feel something,
yeah,
let's pray.
yeah,
And y'all be
It's
praying
open.
together.
Yeah,
1000%.
every day.
What? And you know what's crazy? You know what's crazy? What's crazy is Candace wasn't this spiritual when I met her.
Yeah.
She damn sure wasn't religious.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I grew up in a Catholic church, and had my communion, did all the things. I was at church all the time with my family, but I just had a thing with religion itself. I thought it separated humans. Remember I told you I'm in love with love. I love people coming together. I like people helping. So I took a class once. I don't mean to cut you off, baby. I took a class once on religion, and in that moment I understood, like, okay, so it's not religion that I love, it's God. It's a one. We all believe in the same thing. I don't necessarily think I don't need to eat meat on Fridays. I don't think I need to wear this specific thing. I don't think a religion needs to do this and that for me. But what I do believe in is the fact that we are not supposed to hurt one another. We're not supposed to steal. There is one God. So that kind of clicked to me before I moved to LA. Came out here, had to do my career, had to be this, like,
Hustle and bustle.
yeah, hustle and bustle. It's always, and then it just was just me and God. Like, it was a communication thing. I'm not gonna go, not gonna find no church. I'm just, it's just gonna be this relationship. So he met me in that space when it was the hustle and bustle. And I did go to one church at the time because it was right by the house, and I needed him. I realized, I was like, ooh, they're wearing jeans here. Like, this is crazy. LA is wild. Like, you could just come. I didn't grow up like that. Yeah, I grew up. You get dressed up on Sundays when you go to church.
I think we all grew up like that, though.
Yeah. So it was definitely a switch when I got here, but it was very casual with the Sundays, and it was solo. I was by myself pulling up to church, So when I did meet him and we started going to church together, because we did, dating.
I love
Dating.
that.
Dating.
I remember
love
being
that.
so nervous pulling up to church with him, not because I'm nervous about. First of all, it was like one of the most amazing things. I'm like, oh, this man really could be it with this.
Right.
Pulling me to church. I mean,
Yeah.
he might as well call me your freaking wife
Yeah.
at this point. I've never gone to church with a man. No man has ever pulled me to church on, not necessarily a date, but no man has ever
You ever
pulled me
went
to
to church with somebody before?
Outside of Duke, no.
You ever went to church with somebody?
No.
Yeah, no, that's like love. That's like real love. That's like, you don't tamper with that, I don't
No.
think. And with you bringing me there, it was definitely one of those signs where it was like, oh yeah, this could be a forever thing, for real. Like, I'm not just going to church with nobody. Like, we don't have to do that. So go ahead, back into your conversation. I wasn't as religious,
Yeah.
but
It's quick. I'm gonna bring it home. We weren't praying together. I don't know if she was praying by herself. I was probably praying individually, right? But today, Candace is leading prayers for breakfast, dinner, even at night. Sundays in the morning, let's pray.
Yeah.
And I'm getting my words together, collecting my thoughts, and dear God, and she already taken off with the prayer. I'm like, all right, cool.
Cool.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
Cool. You know what I mean? So I think it was just, it's amazing to see that shift. You know what I mean? Because God in the center of our relationship is something that we were desperately missing.
yeah,
You know what I mean? And I think that's why you've been able to see that gravitation.
it's bigger than us.
Yeah. It's
Gotta be.
It has
Gotta
to be.
be.
It has to be. And I think that obviously everybody doesn't believe in the same things, but we believe in God, and it's kind of crazy that we didn't have him at the center of our relationship.
Yeah.
Because we both believe in God. You know what I mean? But I think there's just way more intention about our spiritual practice and us being rooted together under God. You know
And
what I mean?
through Trump, like, things that
Yeah.
not our better days, like, through our rougher times, I genuinely believe, and it was after the engagement, we had the roughest patch of our relationship, and the only thing that got us out of that was God. So what you've seen is Omar taking the lead and digging into Bibles, Qurans, praying in the morning, doing things on a different level to then pull me in with him, and and now it is where it is, and I'm like low-key thankful for the issues that we had, or the things that we had to go through, because now we're the friction, because now we're stronger than ever, and I want to say God got us through that. So
I have
God,
chills
I'm gonna
right now.
put you on my back.
I do. I have chills.
It's battery pack. He's loaded us up, and like I can say the things that I say now with so much confidence, like and happiness and joy. And it's not for cameras. It's not. We don't do social media because we think it's cute and like think this is what the people want to see. So this is what we do. It's genuinely like when we are feeling good, which now we are in a really great place. This is what we can share because it's our truth and we're not going to lie about it. So, and God got us there.
Amen.
I feel like the closest I've ever felt to God, and I don't know if you guys remember this at Jalan's birthday when everyone was like, you know, like
Giving their few words.
yeah,
flowers.
about Jalan, and I was like, all the things that everyone said was true. Like, yes, he's a reliable friend and all of the things, but like he brought me closer to God. And I knew that like the man that I was supposed to be with would bring me back. And I feel like a lot of people have like church hurt, or like there's so many different religions. Like I don't even want to say the religion I grew up in. Went to a Catholic school, like was all over the place, felt a lot of like animosity from like different religions, but always like similar to you, just kind of knew that like I had a relationship with God. I believe in Jesus Christ. I would consider myself a Christian, but I felt a little lost in that. And I feel like there's so many worldly things and like everything's so accessible that it's just like you're inundated with nonsense.
Yep.
And I feel like our relationship, you've always talked to me about God, and like that's something I've always admired about you before we even started dating. Like I knew he loved his mom and God. And I was like,
That's a good starting point.
yeah, and body oil.
Yo. It's so funny. You got to ask that question before you get with someone, right? Do they believe in God? I was in the chair one time. Jelon was cutting me, right? This is when me and Chanel first got together, and we talking about just new things you're learning about your partner, and I think we're talking about church, right? And I'm like, yo, when the last time you went to church? Oh man, I went last week. He said, when the last time you went to church? Man, I ain't been to church in a while. And then Chanel was supposed to meet me at the shop, right? So we talking about something, and Chanel started walking in, right? We see her through the window. And Jelon's like, yo, Chanel believe in God? I was like, oh. I was like, wait.
I don't know.
I was like, well, I don't think we ever had that discussion. And then he turned me around, right? I said, what's up, baby? And he said, Chanel, you believe in God? She's like, yeah. I was like, ooh.
That was the first question I
That's
ever asked Chanel ever. That was
Yo.
the first time I ever met her.
That is crazy.
Yo.
This was when you were on
Hello.
on
Ventura.
Ventura.
That was the first time I
Wow.
ever met Chanel. He was like, hey, yo, girl, I'm dating. Like, she gonna pull up. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. I'm like, this is my brother, though. Like, I don't know.
You
if
guys
I
are
don't know.
pressing people.
I don't know. Hey, I don't know.
It's cool because I'm used to the pressure.
You know what I mean?
Period.
I'm looking out
She's
for
like,
my
yo,
brother.
You know where I'm from?
He's like, cool, man. But look, I do got a question for y'all. Because sometimes people ask me things in my DM and, you know, I don't be having the answers. But what would you guys say to someone who is dealing with their own insecurities in a relationship?
Their own insecurities in a
Yeah,
relationship.
when they feel insecure in their relationship,
That's a great question.
how do you deal with that?
I feel like, I mean, I know this might be a cliche answer, but I think therapy is a very good way to like kind of understand what you're feeling. Once you do understand that this is what I'm feeling, you either talk to the person, talk it out. Hey, this is what I'm feeling, blah, blah, blah. If you don't feel comfortable with that, I think that seeking outside professional conversation, someone that is either doing better than you in that space or somebody licensed or someone licensed, just to kind of get it out, because it's usually not that serious, you know, those insecurities, or they feel like they're huge in the moment. But personally, you know, we've gotten to the point where we've done therapy as well, individually and as a couple, before the marriage. And it's gotten to the point where now it's like, I've gotten so in tune with whatever that is, I'm okay with speaking to him about it, because he's a best friend as well.
Yeah.
So like, I think there's layers to it, and I think there's different ways to approach it, and it's not only one specific way. But obviously, speaking about it and understanding that you're probably not the only one in the world that's feeling this or going through it. You know, I personally have gone through a lot with my PCOS symptoms, polycystic ovarian syndrome, and 1 out of 5 women have it. But if I didn't speak about it, if I didn't talk to somebody about it, it's the unsexiest diagnosis you could ever imagine. You know, it's hair, it's hormones that are going out of whack, it's not being able to have a baby, it's these kinds of weird things that happen internally. Like, that was the most insecure I've ever felt in my whole entire life. I didn't really know where to go. So, bet you I took my ass to the doctor and figured it out and got these nobody was telling me what was going on. And speaking to a doctor that actually like put life into me, she's like, oh, 1 out of 5 women actually deal with this. You're not alone. And kind of just diving into that, it's helped me. So I think seeking professional help is a great way for any type of insecurity, because you're probably not the only one dealing with it.
Where do you start with like professional help? Like, so even in full transparency, like we talk about therapy all the time, and I'm like, yeah, like I want to find a therapist. We've been dating for 2 years. I've been looking for a therapist for 2 years. Where do you even begin? And I feel like this can actually help a lot of people, because a lot of people safeguard their therapist because you don't want to share,
which is crazy,
which is fine and understandable. But where do you go?
I feel like I can answer this question because I had to do like extensive research, and to be honest, it's actually quite simple. If you just like do a simple Google search, the thing is that like once you do the Google search, and there's a plethora of different like platforms, like it's like a Yelp for therapists.
Really?
There's a bunch of them. The problem is that you have to actually cipher through and like what's the word I want to use? Basically,
like
filter?
everybody.
you have to vet
Vet
all
your
of them,
therapist,
and that's the hard part. Because that's the people. I think that's the part that people are trying to avoid. It's like I wish I could just find a therapist that, from the outskirts, it looks like this would be the perfect match for me. I sign up and we get to the business. The problem is, or the issue is that you could find a therapist that you like, meet with them, and then realize it's not a good fit.
And then you stop.
And then you stop.
Yeah.
And then you stop. For me, I was like, okay, I'm just gonna keep searching, because I felt like I needed outside counsel. You know what I mean? And I specifically wanted someone who I had been through 3 different therapists, and all 3 of them were women. For me, it was very important to find a man, even more specific, a black man. Even more specific than that, a black man that's older than me. You know what I mean?
A black man that's older than you, that's married.
That's married. It was like, it was so specific. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so it just took a little time, but honestly though, it just took time. It wasn't hard. It wasn't hard. So I think literally
You have to
going
do the work.
you have to do, and that's the whole part about therapy.
You have
is
to
you
do
have
it.
to do the work. You do, no one else, and it starts as simply as finding a therapist.
And Google is the answer.
Seriously.
Actually,
Seriously.
Brittany, I have a direct resource for you where I found my therapist on Therapy for Black Girls.
Ooh.
Come on with
That's
the
nice.
direct.
Okay.
Shout out to Therapy for Black
Therapy
Girls.
for Black Girls.
.com.
All right.
This is not a paid partnership.
Not that I paid
But y'all
for.
can cut that check.
Bring it on in.
I've
She
never
said
like.
But
said
if you
it.
wanna, no. But seriously, I want to answer that question for you, just to say that on Therapy for Black Girls, I found my therapist on the second call. So basically, you get the opportunity to speak with a therapist for like maybe 15 minutes, and I spoke with 2 different people, and the second person that I spoke with has now been my therapist for the past year.
Nice.
So it can be a lot easier than you think it is.
Yeah.
But
I
Therapy
like
for
that.
Black
Agree.
Girls has a lot of options, and it gives you like detailed information about the therapist, and it's all Black therapists if that's specifically what you're looking for.
And
I love that.
The last
Thank
thing,
you.
last thing I would add too, Chanel found hers on 2 calls. I found mine in 4. You know what I mean?
So yeah, it's not that scary.
Yeah, and it's not that hard. But I could understand like the hesitation in starting, because it's like it could seem like overwhelming. It's like, man, I gotta.
Yeah, because I felt
should've
that
asked
too.
my
It's already enough for me to sit down and talk to somebody about the shit that I'm
Right.
going through.
I just think
And
like
be honest.
And then be honest,
Right.
be open.
Yeah.
You
the
know?
I don't
thing
wanna
is
go
like
through this.
like
Yeah.
wanting to go through it is one thing. Like I think everybody here always wants to get better. Like we're not complacent people at all. In these new aspects of our relationships, in becoming a mother, like there's just so many things that you want to make sure that like you're building. So back like to Jalan's question, how are you guys like going to teach your daughter about God? Like you have a therapist, like you have somebody like a sounding board.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I think it's important.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I did want to piggyback on that question where you said about how to deal with insecurities. In the event where you can't get the professional help, you can't afford the professional help, obviously go through a process of like self-reflection. Well, not obviously. Go through a process of self-reflection and ask yourself, where is this thought coming from? Is it coming from the person, or is it coming from something in my past? Is it coming from something from me? And then another thing I recommend is to find a hobby, keep yourself busy, because a lot of the times the negative and insecure thoughts come from spaces of boredom.
Idle hands is the devil's playground. So I feel like in any capacity, like whatever anyone's feelings, I second that. Like find a hobby. The more you pour love into yourself and everything around you, like there's no space for insecurity.
Yes, absolutely.
So now that y'all married, okay, so are you guys intentionally seeking new couples to hang out with? Or how does that work, right? So now that you guys married, you guys hang out with
Yeah, y'all
married
looking for
couples.
new friends?
I think a lot of
Let's
our
talk about
friends
it.
are in the same growing space, or at least want to be. You know, I feel like we're all at an age where it's time to grow up a little bit, and we're just in a different place. You know, watching you guys, all of us, get to this place and being able to like come up together has been. This is a community itself, so no, we're not seeking new friends.
Okay.
Look.
But
Let me get.
I'm gonna say, I'm gonna be
Y'all
honest.
don't
That's good.
I'm gonna be
I'm
honest,
gonna be
man.
honest though, but as a man, I am seeking other friendships that are married couples. More so, I mean, this is just being honest. The wife is a byproduct, right? I'm seeking other husbands. I'm searching for game, guidance,
Yep.
you know, mentorship.
Yep.
That any nuggets that the guys got from me, any kind of gems, I am seeking that.
Yeah.
Because I mean, we had Boss here on the show, and he was talking about jokingly about him and his wife. It's like, yo, we've never done this shit before. We don't know. She doesn't know how to be a wife. I don't know how to be a husband. We're learning. We're literally learning every single day. So I am. She may not know it, but I am seeking other friendships because it doesn't really have nothing to do with her. It's really about me. I want my cup filled.
Yeah.
So I am seeking other men that are happily married, that are a great example in the Black community, that I could look up to, that I could like poke for game.
And can hold you accountable as well.
1000%.
I think that's
Hold
really
you accountable.
important.
1000%.
And you like everyone is a product of their environment.
Yeah.
Everyone, and we all gonna prosper from it or become victims of it, one way or the other. So
Yeah, my pie of friendships in this realm is full. In this realm, I mean, 31, 32 and younger, I don't care what relationship you have. I don't care if it's married, girlfriend. I'm kind of full in that space. Now 40.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's pretty much what.
Like 40.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Like 40, married,
Like-
you got a couple of kids, they in school, and you
Yeah.
guys are still trying to
Yeah.
maneuver through your relationships and things like that. Oh yeah. Those guys, I'd be like, hey man, hey, y'all wanna
Yeah. Question. I'm a queen of
20
questions
years?
for them.
Yeah.
I got a big
20 years.
Nah, seriously.
No, I got a big homie, 44, 3 kids. The youngest is 16.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? So
sure.
that's why I'm looking for. I'm looking for those type of men.
Yeah.
You could
They about
really
to be
keep-
empty nesters, so I'm like, yo, how y'all feel about that?
Yeah.
That's not that I get my game on the 30, 31, 32. I holla at y'all, okay?
Yeah.
I holla at y'all, but that 40 when it's like, hey, our kids are in school and we are now trying to figure out how I want to know what that looks like. Those are the friendships that I still am cultivating and seeking. And if they offer they're like, hey yo, let's go on a vacation, I'm gonna go.
Yeah.
We gonna go.
I feel like
We
it happens
go.
organically too.
Yes.
Because
What was
does.
that? I missed
it happens organically too. Like
Yes.
They see it in
when I moved here, I was very I didn't have a lot of friends in LA. And I feel like I was hitting a wall in terms of like women who were on the same trajectory. After becoming a mother, it's just like an influx. Like it really does take a village, and like you just end up appreciating those relationships, and then they turn into real friendships, and that's your community. So
it's important to keep that around.
Yeah.
That was actually in one of our premarital sessions with Coach Martin, and he was like, you will find yourself with a lot more married people, and that's who you need to be hanging out with, because you can be derailed in one conversation. You need to stay on track. And he also said, when you get married, the devil is going to come and try to tempt you.
With his hands like that too, huh?
Yep. He is going to come and try, and he's going to try to dive in. That's how he said it. And I was like, I got all the visuals. I was like, He's like, them DMs you got, DMs you got. He's like, the day you become married, them DMs about to be flooded with the devil's word.
Not even just from guys. From women too.
I'm sorry.
Mostly from you hoes.
I'm not even gonna play with it. It's the women are absolutely out of control, shark-ish, snake, whatever animal we want to talk. I'm pro women. I've got a great community of women. But let me tell y'all something. Whoo!
Relational.
But you know what?
Y'all
I have to
are
say this
different
too.
out here.
I have to say this too. I feel like, one, there's no space for like people who are not like on their BS. When you're in a committed relationship, when you're starting a family, when you're like on the path, like when God's at the center of your relationship, there's no room for that. So like that's one. Two, I'll have to say, I feel like sometimes we can be and I say this as like women, our own worst enemy. Like there's so many times I feel like accountability and things like that are not taken. Like it's wild to me. One of my girlfriends, she was like, yeah, my friend told me like she watches Nice and Neat, and she was so sad that Jalon got a girlfriend. Like she can't wait for you guys to break up so she could shoot her shot. And I'm like at breakfast, like, excuse me? Like, what? Like, not only is it crazy to say that to somebody, but also like to think that way. Like if you have that mentality, how are you, and then you're also asking for abundance. How are you ever going to get there? Your mentality is like, it's not even there. You have to like do the work inside. So like whatever DMs you're getting, girls, send them to me because I'd be bored with him. I'll respond. I'll be like, listen, sis, come to church.
No, they're out
9
there
a.m.,
for
11
sure.
a.m.
Does like do seeing certain things on social media or in your DMs does it ever affect how y'all behave in y'all relationship?
Never.
Not in this stage. I don't think.
Yeah, maybe in the past.
Yeah, in the dating
Maybe
stage,
in
I
the
think
earlier
you
stages.
feel a little bit more insecure,
Things
or you
that
just
agitate you a little bit. You kind of
you just kind of like, you know, when you're dating, it's like I've had friends that are like, my man just liked this girl's picture. Like, should I feel away? Should I say something? Or like, you know, you have conversation, and this is a normal thing. You got to get through the social media part of the relationship too. You know, there's levels to it. But I think when you get to a certain space, when you are a team and you've agreed to this is what we're gonna do, you know,
you're like, okay, we can't sweat this.
Yeah, we're not gonna sweat the small stuff, and like, there's also a respect level that comes with it. Like, I don't want to do anything that's going to make him feel stupid. That's not my goal, and it's not going to make us look better either, and vice versa. Like, I've never really had to worry about like him liking other photos, because I don't know, that was just like something that I got lucky with this relationship. I don't know, but like I never had to be like, why are you liking this girl's pics? Like, you're making me look stupid, or blah blah blah. Like, I mean, it just depends on the maturity level of the man, and I know people that have to go through these steps from the bottom with social media. But to answer your question, it's just levels to it, and just kind of figuring out what is gonna be respectful is this gonna help us or is this gonna not? If it's not gonna help us, I ain't gonna like the photo. I could scroll past it. Did you really have to like it?
And still like
And
it.
still like it.
And
Like
still
this.
like it.
Like this.
And still like it.
And then keep it going.
Like, wow,
Okay, I see it. Oh, I
Just
see
like
it.
that.
All right, we're gonna move it.
Okay.
How about you, dude? What do you feel about that?
I was about to say, what about you?
What question did I ask?
She's so cute. I can't.
What y'all talking about?
You gonna do me like
Nah, what question I asked? I forgot. Nah, help me out.
You
About
talked
social media.
about social media and like
And do you feel like
if
it
seeing
affects-
things.
Okay.
Or what
cool.
people
Does it
say, does
ever-
it
Oh,
impact
yeah.
you?
This social media in any way impact you in our relationship?
Nah, it doesn't, because I think I understand just the nature of social media, and I understand how social media is. And I was somebody that was just like, yo, if like guys gonna be guys, you know what I'm saying? And that's what they supposed to do. That's what we did when we were single. You know what I mean? And it's not like nobody's entitled to anything, right? No one owes me anything. So I understand it. I also understand who I am, you know? And I also was telling you the other day, a lot of times people feel insecure in their relationship because they can't quite articulate what value they bring, right? Or what value they provide. And you know, sometimes when people say things like, yo, what do you bring to the table? People get mad at that, right? But what I would ask people to really consider that question and really take that question serious, and take the opportunity to really like itemize the things that they're good at and the things that they bring to the relationship, right? Because when you feel confident in the value you provide to someone's life, and I feel confident in the value I provide to your life, right? I don't really feel too much insecurity. You know what I'm saying? I think insecurity is a byproduct of just not knowing and being uncertain of how you could, you know, add value. So you're constantly thinking about inadequacies in your relationship, and thinking about like, damn, like this person, like I don't really know what I'm good at, therefore I'm really replaceable. You know?
Yeah.
And I feel like when you are able to just be clear on the things that you're good at, because if you're with someone, there's something that you do, something that you bring to the table. If you're clear on what you could bring to the table, you are going to be more confident in your relationship, and you're going to be less insecure. And anything that happens outside of that, you're going to be more at peace with it, because you know, you just know where you stand. And I think that's kind of the approach I take. So it doesn't affect me.
No, it's just Duke wears all black because he wanted to be a poet today. No, Duke, that bro, exceptional. I say exceptional because just thinking about it from the other side of not being insecure, I know exactly who I am. I know what I bring to the table. I know what I bring to the table so much so, if you mess up, it's your loss. Like, it's not, I'm not going to do anything to, I'm going to give you as much rope as you need to hang yourself, because it's like, I know who I am. I know how I show up. I know exactly what I provide for you, babe. You know? But that has actually been like a saving grace. I feel like sometimes you joke around in your relationship and it's like, babe, why I just don't feel like you just be checking for me like that. And it's like, because I'm so comfortable in our relationship, like, you don't give me anything to make me feel like I have to.
Yeah, I think we were watching like 90 Day Fiance or something, and like one of the couples was just super jealous, and I'm like, you never get jealous, and he's like, you don't give me a reason to be jealous. But I feel like that is like that's like where you want to be, right? Like that's that safe space, that's love. Like I don't want to walk around feeling jealous or insecure in my relationship. Like I don't want to be able to just be Brittany, and I don't want him to feel like he can't be Jelon. So
that's another.
But
level
jealousy
of
is
maturity.
not jealousy, and insecurity is different to me, because I can get jealous. You know, I can be jealous, and I think jealousy is okay and it's normal. But it's all about how we harness it. You know what I mean? I think we all get jealous to some degree. I mean, I could meet you for the first time, and you give me your number, and this is the first time I meet you, and I see another guy get your number to another guy. I'm jealous. And we don't have no emotional attachment, right?
But how about in a relationship?
I'm still jealous. So in a relationship, it's just magnified, right? It's just about how it comes off, right? I think insecurity is something that you can control. I think jealousy is something that as little as, I see you talk to a guy in the gym that I don't know. I've never seen him before, and it looks like he's getting at you. I don't know. So I'm going to get jealous a little bit, right? Because I see it, right? I'm not insecure, but I'm jealous because there's something that's triggering it right now. Insecurity, nothing has to happen. Nothing has to happen for me to be insecure. Jealousy, I can see something, I can ask you about it, say, okay, cool, it's all good. right? So I think jealousy is
Hey,
normal.
boy, you cooking with grease. We might have to go another 30 minutes.
Right.
Might have to go another
Come
30
on,
minutes.
man.
That's why she gotta be frustrated. He be making
on.
too much damn sense.
You know what I'm saying? But yeah, but like jealousy is normal for us, you know, and I think we should like lean into jealousy sometimes and just be honest about it. I know I am sometimes.
I get
like,
jealous.
Yeah.
I used to get jealous when you guys got to hang out with Jelon and like I was in Texas.
See?
Or like when I was pregnant. I'm like, dang, like you guys get to do stuff
Yeah.
and I'm tired.
It's normal. Yeah, it's normal.
Tired.
It's normal. So I mean, even with her, like I think I asked her one time, I
I
was
be
like,
jealous.
You get jealous?
Yeah, when they be with new dudes. Pause. I be jealous. I be like,
Who is that?
You didn't. Yeah, who is it?
Who is this guy?
You really do though.
You didn't tell me about this guy.
Yeah, you really do.
But why is Omar golfing every week with this guy?
That was a thing. That was a thing. I'd be like, are you gonna golf? I saw Omar was
Who is it?
golfing and he's like, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Why is Duke on this guy's story? Let me go to his page.
I know this guy.
hey, you be looking.
Friend
He don't know. He don't know him like
You
that.
don't even know him like that,
Friend
bro.
jealousy is different.
It's a real thing.
Hey, oh, you know this dude? Oh, it'd be like that.
That is so funny.
Oh man,
Remember.
y'all,
Nigga
y'all.
trying to replace us.
What?
All right, so before we wrap, okay, a lot of talk on social media, a lot of opinion about dating. If you listen to everyone talk about dating right now, they'll say the dating world is trash. Okay, as women who are in pretty, I guess, in good standing, right, as far as dating, you being engaged, you being married, and you soon to be. Okay, what advice would you give to women who are still in the dating space and are struggling in the dating space, but want to be in positions like this? What's some advice you could give them?
I have a lot of single girlfriends that I feel like are great women and that can really be an amazing wife, and they want to be. And they're having issues finding these men that they feel are worthy to be husband and move them in that direction. So I could speak on this. I think that being able to realign, I think I notice like their values sometimes are a little bit shifted or off. So like you're more concerned about him being bald rather than you'll swipe left on a man because he's bald, but you haven't even heard anything that he has to say. Like, do you value what he is, who he is as a person, or do you or his hair? You're probably cutting off.
Not even the fact that he's not unattractive. It's
Yeah.
just,
He don't
It's
have
just
hair.
specific hair, or like, oh, he's not 6'4". Swipe. It's very over the surface for a lot of friends that I have personally. I'm speaking on people that I know.
If you're 5'5" and under, you can do like 5'10".
You can figure it out. You don't need
I-
a 6'4". I'm not saying that you need to be with somebody that you are completely unattracted to and you whatever. But what I'm saying is to maybe open up your palette, should I say,
I like that.
and try different things. You know, I think just that alone will just open up the space a little bit for you to be able to dive in and find a man of value that is actually in the list that you really want in life, because it really. Go ahead.
When you say try new things, what do you mean? You mean like a woman is searching for a black man and now she should go date a white
Sure.
man?
Sure.
I agree.
A Latino? Sure.
Absolutely.
A man that doesn't have hair, but he goes to church, and you want to get closer to God. I think it's worth a try. I think
Yes.
women, because we live
got
in
the
this
loose.
dating world, we live in this online dating space, and it's easy to just swipe, and kind of just go off of looks, which I understand. Like, you want to be attracted to the person you meet, and if you're not meeting them outside, but also just have your values in order. Like, what I need to know that you are morally correct. Let me go base things off of that rather than kind of just going. So yes.
How would you guys say
Dating
like
black-
creating a value system? You know, like
I mean, I know
like
my
what is
value
the
system.
action step for like somebody that even like if it's like, yo, I don't really even know what my values are. Like, what's the action step to being able to create your value system?
I think
Yeah.
knowing what kind of life you want. So I knew that I wanted an involved partner. I didn't want to be like this like person that was always by myself in this big multi-million-dollar mansion with a cheating husband that's on the road that is going to do all kinds of things. Like, I knew I wanted somebody that was going to love on me and be able to raise a family with me and like be there with the child and be a partner, you know, like certain things. How does he treat his mother? How was he raised? There's a list of things. Does he cook? Because I can cook too, but shit, us cooking together, that's different, you know, and that's where our intimacy begins. And those kinds of things matter the most to me. So I've had those kinds of things laid out from the very beginning. So I think understanding and not letting other kinds of situations in when it comes to having those rules. Like you go on dates and you're just like, oh, I guess I'll go on another one, even though him and his mom don't get along anymore because this, that, and the third. No, you know that's a value. That's something that you want.
Start rationalizing.
Do you start rationalizing because he has hair?
Also, like, for that reason, be okay being alone too.
Yes.
Like I feel like people put such like pressure on women, like you have a timeline, like it has to happen now.
Yeah.
Like I see like the first 5 people in my feed that's like getting married and like they have like the dream wedding that costs $120,000 and it's like you start to want things that you don't even want.
Yep.
So I think like before you even seek and date, like get to know yourself. Like I feel like something that helped me was I stripped what I thought I wanted and I really broke it down. So like you say we all want a successful man, like I feel like that's just given.
Yeah.
But what does that actually mean?
Yes.
Like
What
you could
are the
have a
levels?
guy who puts you in a mansion and you're just like a little doll and he's out doing his own thing and you're frustrated and sad and like pretending you're happy. Or you can be like, you know what? The attributes I love in a successful man is that he is consistent, that he can make something out of nothing. Just there's so many things within success that like you may not even want the end result of a successful man. You may want to build with somebody. Find like really dig deeper and see what that is.
Yeah.
Like
That's like you couldn't be. That was poetic right there.
Something that drives me crazy is like people just throw around spirituality a lot. Like what spirits are you talking about?
Yeah.
Like
What spirits are you talking about?
like there's all kinds of spirits.
That's so real.
like when I was like, oh, I want somebody who's like close to God, and like celebrities say it all the time, like my God, but like who is your God? Like what God do you serve?
Yeah.
Like no, like for women, like we're looking for protection, we're looking for safety, we're looking for love and all those things, and we all deserve it. But you have to look at yourself and know what you're really looking for and know what you want, and also know what you bring to the table. Like Duke said,
that's
like
exactly what I was gonna say.
I know that I have a temper. Being with a man who also has a temper would never work. Like Jalon brings me down. He's like very grounding, and that's a beautiful aspect of our relationship. Like know your good side, know your bad side, and really break down that list. Like don't just throw it out there and be like, oh, he's balling, girl, so I'm gonna go on a date with him. Yeah, but he's a bad person.
Yeah.
So don't go on a date with him. Like don't waste your time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
What are his characteristics?
Yeah.
That's
And I
character.
think-
Does he call his grandma?
Yeah. Does he care?
Yeah, does he care?
Right. I think, like Candace said, and I'm sure you too, Brittany, I have a lot of single friends as well who are great women. And one piece of advice that I find myself giving out to a lot of my friends is stop ignoring the red flags that you see
Yeah.
from the jump. Because once you ignore those red flags and you continue to entertain the situation, you end up being more devastated that things aren't working out for you
When it was there to begin with.
when it was there to begin with. And you got to really, like you said, ask yourself, what do you want? And do exactly that. Do things that align with that. Entertain men that align with your what you want, the life that you want.
And know, again, what Duke said, know what
Know
you're
what you bring
bringing
to the table.
Because if you stand on that,
It starts there.
and if you're confident with that,
Stand on business.
you know,
Stand
it doesn't
on
really have to
business.
waver. You don't have to
Yeah.
just settle for anything,
Yeah.
which are the red flags.
LA's hard
know?
too. Like date outside of like your
Comfort.
Yeah,
Yeah, so,
diversify
like,
your dating pool.
For sure.
Like
For
in
sure.
LA, if you're dating someone in like Long Beach, that's a long distance relationship.
Yeah.
But like,
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If I'm,
but like,
if I-
if you're in the valley and like someone's in Long Beach, like that's a long distance. Like, try something new. Like LA is
Yeah.
really hard. I feel like New York City is difficult. Miami's difficult. Like, look outside of that.
Yeah, yeah.
Don't be afraid to.
You know the interesting thing about, before we wrap up, the interesting thing about what you guys said is that I feel like today, right, with social media, with these dating apps, it's like we're constantly trying to look for that perfect match. You know how it is when we were playing, when we were kids and we were playing video games, and we were trying to create a player. And our creative player was everything 99, right? Everything. We put all the ratings up. But we'll rather play with our creative player instead of playing on a really good player, instead of playing with the really good player. I feel like today there's really good people, but everyone's trying to create their player. So when you keep swiping, you're like, yo, he got all the attributes, but not enough. Swipe, right? He got 90% of the attributes, not enough. Swipe. And I feel like today, men and women, we're just constantly trying to create that player or find that perfect custom player that has everything up, right? So the illusion of guarantee is that they're there. You know what I'm saying?
It's crazy because there is no perfect person, but there is a perfect person for you.
Right.
Correct.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Whatever you think you want, right? It's like, I want all that. I'm looking for that person. I'm looking for the guy that's 6'4". I'm looking for the guy with the bank account. The guy with the bank account, but also who has a big heart, right? Who's also faithful, who's also attractive, right?
goes to church with his
Who has-
mom every
like,
Sunday.
That's what everyone's looking at, right?
Yep.
Another thing is, listen, I ain't y'all, but I know for a fact that sometimes this gets jaded. You know what I'm saying? Like, people see relationships like this, and like people see me treating you well and y'all treating each other well, and like y'all want that, so they make that the standard for the thing they want. But they don't understand that in order to get this, you had to take some L's.
Word. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, in order to get this, I had to get some things up.
Yeah.
Right? In order to get this, I had to say, yo, like, okay, I gotta make compromise, or I had to settle for something, right?
Yeah.
And when people hear people talk about settling, like, nah, I can't do that. But we all gotta compromise. Is just like a beautified way of saying settle sometimes.
Yeah.
You
It's
know,
a
that's-
dance. It's a
It's
dance.
a dance
It's a-
for sure.
Yeah.
And that's what people don't see.
What do you want from me?
What
do I want for you? Man, we sit down, and when we do our premarital counseling and we sit down and we talk, man, it was actually, I don't know if you've ever seen me cry before that moment.
No,
Man,
I was taken aback.
I have so much that like I see from my partner. I don't know if you guys just like feel like that. I'm sure you do. But like when you just look at your partner and you're just like, yo, like there is a world that I see for you that you don't even see. Like it is so much that I want for you, and there's so much that you are going to achieve. And you know, like, and I'm saying outside of money, outside of material things, I mean just like your heart. And I've just watched you develop that so much more. And it's like I get to see the beautiful side of you. But I feel like more and more people, I get to see the relationship with your mom, even like your patience with your mother, like go through the
She
roof.
watches this, so
Right. No. And I'm not saying that because I feel like we all have a tough time dealing with our parents and like having that space of patience with our parents. But like seeing you like seeing you with her, seeing you with him,
yeah.
like motherhood has been my actually like that's the sexiest dress I've ever seen you in.
Period.
Like it's been amazing to watch you be a mother and watch you go from having no sleep to smiling and laughing in his face and him laughing back. And I never thought anybody could look at you the way I do until I seen the way he looks at you.
Wow.
You
That's
know,
my little man.
I have nothing but respect for you, as a friend, as a partner, as an onlooker. Like I just stare at you from a distance and I'm like, yo, I'm proud that is my partner. I see you wake up in the morning, like, you know, People wake up in the morning and be like, she got to put some makeup on. You are beautiful to me all the time.
Thank you.
It's amazing. And as for you guys,
You guys.
nah, I really want to see you guys have hella kids, bruh. Like, I want us to
Hella
raise our
kids.
kids
You know,
together.
Hella
Like-
kids, bro.
Right, look,
Right.
I want to see us raise our kids together. Our son needs somebody. They need somebody to play with. I feel like we have nice and neat. That is one of our jobs, but another one of our jobs is to be parents. And in order for us to really, really be able to spend that time together, it's gonna be through parenthood.
Yeah.
So y'all gotta have kids.
Mm.
You know.
Okay.
Can I second
Coming
that
right
too,
up.
baby? Like, I also love seeing you guys' relationships get closer because of the focus of like God. And like, I know we talked a lot about that, but I know that like Chanel, Duke, you guys are like really like starting to like, I don't want to say like double down on that journey, but like as you like enter into marriage, you guys have been at it for a while in like your journey as well. But I feel like something that Jalon says to me, I'll ask him questions and I'm just like, you know, like, how do you know? Or like, why are you so committed? Like, why does this not bother you? And his like response is always like, because like, this is bigger than me. Like God's first. And I feel like we're not always going to have all the answers. We're not always going to have friendships to fall back on and like advice, or like our parents are getting older. And I feel like you just need that North Star. So that's something that like I want for you guys. I'll pray for you guys on that, and just we're here for you. We'll always be here for you.
That's great. I love
Yeah.
that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That gave me chills.
Should I answer?
Go ahead.
Should I answer?
Yeah.
Long question.
She's like, if I do say so myself.
Man, I want the most for Candace. I want to see her succeed in every way, form, and fashion. I had a realization the other day. A friend asked me, "Yo, do you think you would have met Candace if you were still in the league?" And I was like, well, you don't really know the history. Technically, I was still in the league when I met her, but I see where you're going with the question. And I was like, no. I would have tricked off the relationship. It never would have happened. And I've always wondered, 9 years after I've been retired from the game, that I felt like I was forced out of. I've always wondered, like, how does someone like me end up out of the league? I could play multiple positions. I'm super athletic. I'm one of the fastest guys on the team. I'm smart. I show up early. I stay late. And for the longest, it's been like, I don't know if you guys have these questions about yourselves in your lives, like, why did that happen to me? Mm-hmm. And it made me think, like, well, so I could meet my wife. It was so I could meet my wife, so we could have children and we could build a family.
Mm-hmm. And build something bigger.
And build something bigger than what
Yeah.
I thought was the biggest thing in my life.
Yeah.
I thought what I was doing was the biggest thing in my life. Little do I know that God was taking me away from that so we could create the greatest thing in our life. You know what I mean? So when I say I want the best for you, I mean that in every way possible, because you have completely changed my life. Wow. And yeah.
Wow.
Can we cut?
No.
No. We got the
hormone,
first
the
tears on
hormone.
Nice and Neat. We're gonna let this fly.
So
The hormone.
yeah,
Wow.
and
was so
for you guys specifically, I know Duke, you're already on your way there. I know Brittany and Jalon, you guys surely be there after. But I want you guys to be married. You know what I mean? I want you guys to enjoy
This feeling.
the feeling that we're having. You know what I mean? Because it's special. And I'm constantly talking. I had to talk to a dude today at the gym. He was like, bro, the way you just talked about her and your love, like, I want that. You know what I mean? And obviously, I don't have to sell you guys on that, but I do want that for you guys too. So, yeah, that's where I stand.
And just, obviously, the typical things, but the things that matter, like health, like strong health and longevity and travel and experiencing life together. You know, I wish that for everyone. Everyone deserves that. I feel like I said at the beginning of this conversation, if it's not for love, then what are we really doing here? You know, so obviously we're family. Obviously we've created our own family here in LA, coming from our different places. All of us women have been, you know, from different places. And to end up here and to be here having this conversation, you know, I don't take it for granted. And I wish that for you guys. I wish greatness, happiness, and lots of travel, y'all. Let's get out of the country.
Yeah. Cheers to that. Okay, I'm listening.
She's like, I'm all ears.
Man, that was good, y'all. So I'm not even gonna try to like upstage y'all. But I guess what I want for us, honestly, I want us to be married. I want us to have just a beautiful future. I want us to just get in touch with each other and get in touch with God, get in touch with our culture, right, and understand just who we are as just, you know, people and just the places we come from. You know, I am someone who takes enormous pride in being your partner, and I just want to be the solution to all your problems, you know. And however I could do that, I just want to be that, right? I just want to be selfless, and I just want to be available to you to be the best man I could be. You know what I'm saying? I can say for sure that I'm a better man today than I was before I met you, all right? And through this journey, you've helped me, you know, you've helped usher me into this, you know what I'm saying? And you've been a big part of my life and just helping me grow into a man. And yeah, man, I honor you. I thank you, and yeah.
He's trying to get married, girl. He's ready for you to walk down that aisle.
I want that for us. You know what I'm saying? I want that for us.
I definitely want marriage for us as well. I think one of my biggest goals in my head that I have to communicate to you, that I have communicated to you, is that I want us to be more spiritually connected and get closer to God, especially as we lead into, now that we're engaged, and lead into marriage very soon. And I want you to have all of the things that you ever dreamed of. I think that you're an incredible man, and I think that I love how you use your power to influence men and women like on all over the world. And I am blessed enough to get to live with you and see that every day. So thank you for that, and y'all welcome.
And y'all welcome.
Yeah, so look, we're gonna wrap it up, man. And ladies, we are grateful. We know that you guys, you know, would love to do this, but we're grateful for your time anyway. You guys got dressed, got the hair did, you know what I mean? You spent a couple hours with your boys. So like it's a privilege to have y'all here. You know what I'm saying? Thank you guys for blessing us. We've been trying to get you guys on for a little bit now.
Congratulations
so
again on
Yes.
100 episodes, y'all.
episodes.
If you made it all the way to the end of this episode,
Yo.
you a real one.
Yo.
What is it? Nan Gang?
Nan
Gang.
What's the sign?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know. But yo, look, real quick before we be sure to drop your favorite part of the episode in the comments, right? Let us know what you thought about the episode. Let us know what really stuck out to you. Let us know anything that stuck out in the episode. Just put it in the comments. All right, if you're watching this right now, go ahead, stop it, pause it, take a screenshot, and then post it to your story. Tag us. We may tag you back. I mean, may hit you back. We may not. I don't know. But just post it anyway. With that said, I'm Duke.
I'm Chanel.
I'm Candace.
Omar.
I'm Brittany.
I'm Jalan, and this is another episode of Nice and Neat, and that's that on
All
that. Peace.
I'll be the one to take the risk to go and get them bands. I'll be the one to never sit and go and make a plan. Knowing my mother getting old, now I don't got no time. Gotta keep a couple for the road, the rest get left behind. Yeah. To the hunters, pledge allegiance, I stand.